What is going on, everyone? My name is Delta, and welcome back to another Division 2 discussion video. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and give me a like, as it always helps me out. Alright, let's get right into it. So today we're going to be talking about why the Division 2 Dark Zone failed. And I've generated a few reasons as to why I believe that the Division 2 Dark Zone does not have the same kind of following that it did in the Division 1. And I'm not trying to sit here and say that the Division 2 Dark Zone is bad or anything. I am here simply to just provide reasoning as to why I believe that the Division 2 does not have the same sort of following as the Division 1. So jumping right in, I want to point out the size of the Division 2 Dark Zone. And yes, I know there's 3. And if you add up all 3 of them, it's probably similar to the size of the original Dark Zone from Div 1. The problem with these ones is that they're so small, you know? You can get across, Dark Zone East in about 3 minutes or less. And due to the small size and nature of this Dark Zone, you only are able to have 3 teams total. 3 teams of 4 in each Dark Zone. That's very small compared to the Division 1 Dark Zone, where you could have upwards of 24 players in the Dark Zone at one time. So already you take the size of the Dark Zone that people are accustomed to and you squish it down and streamline it so it's only a team versus team or a team versus 2 teams, There's no large server-wide sort of madness like there was and there used to be in the Division 1, you know what I mean? Like where it would be one team versus 20 other players. They just kind of ripped that aspect right out of the game and it's just no longer there. And the fact that there's only 12 players, it just feels like you run into the same people every single time, no matter what. And this is my experience on both Xbox and PC. So that concludes my first point, that the Dark Zones are too small, too constricting. While I realize that the idea of the Dark Zones being spread out around the map and each one of them having their own sort of personality, Dark Zone South is True Sons and Hyenas, and Dark Zone East is Hyenas and True Sons. You get the point. Each one of the Dark Zones corresponds to a different faction, and the one I was missing is Dark Zone West is primarily Outcast focused. Of course, the invaded Dark Zone, which is Black Tusk. So the main factions of the game have their own Dark Zone. Each one of them is represented throughout the game somehow in some fashion in the Dark Zone. My point is that the Division franchise defines the Dark Zone as the Dark Zone from the Division 1. They have one large centralized Dark Zone in the middle of the map, and it encompasses all different areas. And it's all contiguous, like it's all just one place. You're just in the Dark Zone. And the Division 2 doesn't have that. It doesn't have that feel at all. So in that sense, it just subconsciously does not have the same appeal and feel as the Division 1 that so many players are used to and so many people have come to expect from the Division. It's just not there. In the Division 2, that is. So speaking more about the dichotomy between the Division 1 and the Division 2, many people have described the Division 1 as quote-unquote the best PvP game ever made. And many players in the community describe that in my comment section, and other people's and other content creators have described it this way. Obviously, we're biased as to why we say that the Division 1 is the best PvP game, because that's our favorite game series. But it becomes interesting when you compare it to the Division 2, because the Division 2 objectively tries to innovate on the Division 1. But people necessarily weren't looking for an innovation on the Dark Zone in particular, because that's what people defined as the Division experience. Other things I think play into that same idea is the setting, especially. In particular, the snow, wintry, Christmassy theme. I'm aware that that is a little bit more broad than just the Dark Zone, but of course the Dark Zone is sort of under that umbrella of the Division 2 setting. It's summery, it's warm, the characters are wearing shorts, and it doesn't feel like the Division. So many people say when the Division 3 comes out, I hope it has snow, or I hope the Division Heartland has snow. You could see that so many people care about the original setting of the Division 1 just because it was perfect. It was perfect, and so many people clamor for a remaster or an update for the Division 1. I wonder why that is. Moving on into my next topic, I want to bring up the armor system. And I know I talked about this in another video, but it matters when talking about the Division 2's PvP. in the next upcoming update for the Division 2, they're changing the armor system back to similarly to the Division 1, where what consists of instant armor kits instead of not timed, but it's not instant to use an armor kit. Change had significant ramifications for PvP, especially where you die in a matter of under a second. Clearly, it was meant to slow down the pace of combat, and it was meant to make it so players had to utilize cover more and basically slow down their playstyle. But like I said, in the Division 1, everything was much faster, and it was bigger, it was more engaging, especially PvP-wise. And that was the main community of players for the Division 1, was PvP players. And I think that's what was the most criminal of Massive, was that they weren't understanding enough of their audience to try and do anything about PvP for the last 2 years. There has been not a single change for PvP. Not one. And I understand that Red Storm is no longer working on the Division 2, which greatly impacts the PvP focus of the game. And you know what? The Division Heartland is going to be great, is all I can say. But in terms of the Division 2 Dark Zone failed, this is why. Failed because there was not a strong PvP focus in the Division 2. And you know what? It's no fault of the developers. Like, that's their game, their property. They chose to take it that way. This is the game that they wanted to make. But unfortunately, it came at the cost of the PvP community. To Massive's credit, they made an insanely good PvE game. Insanely good. I can't say how good the PvP game is because it's amazing. Like, it's probably one of the best PvE games I've ever played. Unfortunately, those strides in PvE just are not engaging enough for the PvP-based community, and you'll see that they have kind of moved on to other games that are, more straight PvP, such as, Battlefield 2042 or whatever games are coming out now. Destiny 2, for that matter, I guess. Anyways, I hope that these new changes that are coming to the Division 2 will, as they have noted in the Intelligence Annex and on Twitter, Yannick specifically has noted that there will be changes coming to PvP. So I do hope that, things will become more engaging for PvP in particular, and we'll see pop-in Dark Zones again in the Division 2. I can't wait. So that's all there is for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed and, found this little analysis into the Dark Zone pretty informative and entertaining. But my name is Deltah, so I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it always helps me out. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now. Peace.